Hey guys, welcome to Walkthrough Wednesday, Huntsville's premier interactive virtual home tour show. I'm Brandon Taylor, your host from Capstone Realty. Each week I walk through two houses that are currently on the Huntsville market. This week we are seeing what you can still buy in Huntsville for under $100,000. And we're only 2 miles from downtown Huntsville. So let's see what we got. That's right guys, I am in Terry Heights this week. We are checking, it's a neighborhood off of Holmes Avenue, real close to downtown Huntsville. I think I'm only 1.5 miles from Big Spring Park right now. Terry Heights is an interesting neighborhood. If you draw a circle, like a 1.5 mile circle around downtown Huntsville, you'll see that like 80% of that circle is filled with some of the most expensive or the fastest growing real estate in Huntsville. Things like Blossomwood and Five Points, the medical district, and all the historic areas, things like that. Or you're looking at Low Mill where things are just exploding over there and all of a sudden lots are selling for over $100,000. And then you have this area north of the interstate that includes Terry Heights that isn't necessarily selling for the same things. It's kind of one of these things is not like the other, and we're kind of in that area now. And so it's obviously speculative. We're talking about the future, but it sure seems like this neighborhood is sitting in the path of progress. And so what I've got here today are a couple of turnkey rental properties that would be great for investors if you buy that thesis. If you're a believer in that thesis that this neighborhood is in the path of progress, then it's a good way to invest in the neighborhood. Terry Heights has seen some development that looks promising. In the past, 6 or 8 years, there's been a lot of grants from HUD that have made some new homes being built in the neighborhood less than 10 years old, which is the first housing stock you've had here in a long time. Before that, things could be almost 100 years old back here. And we started seeing some private development after the public, and so you started seeing a couple of flips in the neighborhood, and that's what these are. These are investment properties for somebody who's looking to buy something that's turnkey ready. So I got 2 of them right next door to each other. They're my listings, but I still think there's something good for you all to learn a little bit about what's going on over here. All right, so first up is 2804 Battle Drive. This is an 1,100 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath home in Terry Heights, like I said. Everything's been remodeled in this: new roof, new siding, new HVAC, electrical updates, plumbing updates, paint, and all that. So it is a good looking house. I like the front porch. And let's check it out. Oh, they're asking $95,000 for it. We think you can probably rent it for maybe $850, $850, somewhere in that range. And so it gives a pretty good return as is. Plus, if you believe in the neighborhood, it could be a great investment. All right, so walking in, we got new flooring, new paint, new windows, everything updated in this living area. Walk right through here. This could be a dining room, or you could make this living area if you wanted to. It is an older home, so everything's not brand new, but yeah. Right here you have a bathroom. We got new vanities. They did do some plumbing work in here as well to remove some of the galvanized pipes. And some storage. Beadboard's a nice touch. All right, back to the front of the house. We have the first bedroom. The bedrooms are the same size, so there's not necessarily a master and a other one. This one has, I think, a little bit bigger closet, so probably use the master at the front of the house. And then right next door you have a door attaching the two. You have a second bedroom, roughly the same size, very similar finishes. Yeah. All right, finally at the back of the house, here is the kitchen space. New countertops and plumbing fixtures, new stove. You can tell the electrical panel's been updated. A little bit of room for maybe a table and chairs. So there's a little utility room here this is where the washer would go. There's hookup for the dryer in the kitchen as well. All right, back at the house still we got more vinyl siding. It's all been replaced. That's an abandoned chimney for an old fireplace. They did a bunch of reinforcing some structural stuff in the crawl space, which is good for a house this age. Obviously things do deteriorate over time. The HVAC is all new. Yeah, all in really good shape. So I didn't ask any questions while I was inside, which isn't like me. So I'm gonna ask a couple now. Have you ever thought about buying a rental house? If so, would you buy something in a transitional neighborhood like this, or do you want something that's kind of more of a sure thing? All right, now, what are the biggest pros and cons that you see for this house? For me, the biggest pros All right, we're talking about investments, talking about things like capital expenditures, like you don't have any updates really you have to make. You don't expect the roof or windows or HVAC or plumbing or electrical to need major repairs anytime soon. So that's good. Maintenance costs will be low. Those are fantastic. I think another plus is the opportunity for the neighborhood is exciting. I think the minus is it is an old building. So that's not always fun to own old buildings because they have old building problems. And then you also have to wait for the neighborhood zone. All right, so now we're right next door at 2900 Battle. Like, there's the house right across the street. It is a little bit bigger, 1,114 square feet. It's still 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It has not quite all new siding. It has some new siding and some old that was in good shape. It's been painted, does have a carport, and new roof, new windows, new doors. But it's still also a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It just came on the market last week. We're asking $97,500 for this one. All right, walking inside, we end up with a real similar floor plan. You walk straight into a living space. There's a dining room in there and a bedroom to the side. I just like the layout just a little bit more. I think the bedrooms with not having the pass-through is kind of nice. Closets are a little bigger. And they got a couple little built-in features, which I like. We're back in the dining space. Got the little niche. Still got the window, which is nice. Everything's painted, literal same flooring. The room I think is a little bit bigger than the other one, but marginally. This is the second bedroom. The reason it's priced a little bit higher is it is a slightly bigger, but also the kitchen, all new cabinets. It just looks a little bit nicer. I like the layout a little more, a little bit bigger footprint to the kitchen. So those are the features that I think justify the higher price. There's a utility room with a washer and dryer hookup. And a little more space for the water heater and some storage. And then finally here is the bathroom at the back. All new tile and fixtures. Good size lot. Back here, the back does have new vinyl, and they did some new electrical work as well. All right, so what do you think are the biggest pros and cons of that one? For me, the biggest pros, I think it does look a little nicer. I like the layout a little bit more than the previous one. Other than that, the same list of pros. You expect low cost going forward, and I'm excited about the neighborhood. Opportunities there. The downside is there are a few other things that are a little bit older. The HVAC's not as new, but the electrical's newer. So, and you get the carport, which I think is nice for tenants to be able to park their car. And there's a walkway up instead of grass. So yeah, that's what I got. What about y'all? All right, so what would you give this on a scale of 1 to 10? And finally, if you were looking for a rental house under $100,000 and you were thinking of buying one of these two, which one would you buy? Would you buy house number 1 or house number 2? All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions in general about investing in real estate. I personally am super interested in getting more into it. I've been working with some investors, but I haven't yet made my own investment other than my personal property. And so I'm trying to get a little smarter on it. And so you get to come along with me and get a little smarter as we go. So let me know your questions. I'll either answer them if I know them, or I got some people who I can get some advice from. So let me know what you think, what questions you got. And I'll see you next week on Walkthrough Wednesday.